So I saw something very interesting last week. I saw that Aniplex is releasing a box set, a limited edition for season 2 of The Promised Neverland. It's going to be 119.98 cents. And it's coming out this July. And that's pretty expensive for some trash. Since I saw that, I wanted to look back at The Promised Neverland season 2 a year later to see, was it really as bad as the way people were making it seem? And yes, I know, I was one of the people that was covering this live as it was happening. And I'll get straight to the point. Yes, it was bad as we made it seem, because seeing this happen live and seeing all the the crumblings and how it was going bad when this season was airing, especially because we went from episode 1 and 2 and we're like, okay, a few chapters we're like, oh, okay, they didn't include a plant thing. It's like, oh, whatever, that's not that big of a deal. But soon as episode 3 hit, that's when, yeah, it hit the fan. That's when we knew something hit the fan, because they ruined a lot of stuff. We already know what I know I'm beating at a dead horse right now, because the majority of us, we already know what happened with this season. I just wanted to look back a year later just because I saw that they're releasing a season 2 and it's a limited edition. It's like almost 120. It's basically 120 plus for tax and all that if you include tax. But it's like, who's gonna buy that? I know they did one for season 1 and like it's been on Right Stuff for a while. I know some people have bought that, but I'm looking like for this season 2, maybe somebody that's really a Promised Neverland fan might buy it, like a super duper one, but I like Promised Neverland, but I'm not buying that. That's too much. If it was like $10 maybe, I'm not dropping 120 for a trash season in my opinion, because it was trash. There was so many things wrong with this season, because if we're looking back at it, let's talk about some of the stuff it failed at. So we already know it skipped about like 100 plus chapters. Somewhere in there it's like 90 to 100 plus. I forgot exactly what the number is. And they changed the way certain characters were. Like Norman's whole character is like kind of changed. It's basically changed, and he's still a little kid. And we don't even get to see his whole crew. Of course, we know they cut one of the best arcs to Goldie Pond, and then they cut a lot of good characters like Yugo. We know that. A lot of villains that were good. We know how they basically ended the whole show on basically a slideshow, like doing the greatest hits of stuff they should have shown that could have got more detail and explained. We know they did that. We know at the very end, all the character models look wild, and like they literally put Emma's like little kid head on like a big person, on an adult human body or whatever, and it looks so weird. We know the way that does, and we know the way this all plays out. Even if you try and view this as like being something separately, and like if you never read the manga, in my opinion, there's still hella problems. Because one, there's a pacing issue. Like the pacing issue is ridiculous with this season. Because from the jump, as soon as basically episode 3, it goes super fast, and it goes so fast it makes no sense because they cut so much content. And we even know towards the end of this that even the creator and directors and all this, like they removed their names from them episodes because they realized they're like, yeah. They realized they screwed up, and this season was like ruined. I do hope years later we get some information of like why this happened, especially because this is a shonen title, and you know shonen titles most of the time, especially if it's a popular shonen title, they're going to try and milk it. I didn't think they were just going to end this, because Promised Neverland only got 23 episodes, which is crazy. I know a lot of people compare this to Tokyo Ghoul and they say which one was worse. I would arguably say this one is worse, because at least Tokyo Ghoul got 48 episodes and 2 OVAs, so technically you could say 50 episodes. Yeah, I know there was cut content and they didn't cover it the right way for Tokyo Ghoul, but at least it got that many episodes. Promised Neverland wasn't even blessed with getting that many. It got only 2 seasons. Season 1 got 12 episodes. Season 2 only got 11. And like they ended it. And like I find that very fascinating, because like this was like something that might have happened early 2000 with certain shonen shows where, but even back then they still would get a longer series run, where it's just like this. I don't know if it was because people had Shonen Jump and all them or whatever, they were just like, yeah, we don't care about Promised Neverland, you can just like speed this up, we're never going to make another anime. But I hope some information comes out. But yeah, it does suck, because like I said, episode 3, they really ruined the bunker, because like the bunker actually had like a very impactful moment, and like it sucks that we didn't really get to see that, and that's the one thing I really hate. And like I said, all the characters that are cut, and like the way they changed characters, we didn't even get to see Norman's secret base, which would have been very lit. Like this whole season of Promised Neverland season 2 was just like ridiculous. Like I said, watching it as it was happening was crazy. It was like a whole dumpster fire. Like the only way they could ever fix this is they act like this was all Emma just dreaming, and then she wakes up in the forest and then was like, oh, I had a bad nightmare or something. But yeah, like I said, it's very fascinating. This is like why this went this way. I know there are some people that actually enjoyed this series, which is kind of interesting. They enjoyed the season. I mean, in my opinion, there really wasn't like much to enjoy. The only thing I enjoyed was just watching it, like each episode, seeing like how it was going to get worse and worse. Because trust me, it kept topping itself, like they did. Because they ruined a lot of characters. Like, Because like the whole season just seemed like it was so pointless. Like I said, I know even looking back at this a year later, it's so funny because like we all hate the majority of the fans, they hate this, and we're all disappointed we didn't get to see like actual greatness. Like this is like the first time I've talked about it like in a minute. Like I made a few videos on TikTok, but I never went into detail because like I hate it because like even when I was covering it, like I hated it a lot. That's why I made that one first video, because it's like it's so stupid. It's like, why did they have to do this? Like I'm not about to go on some super long rant in here, but really, why did they have to? Because you would think they would want to milk this series out, because one, it's a shonen. You want to have as many shonens like anime airing as you can. That way you can like increase manga sales and all that. But I guess it's because the manga ended. But still, like it makes no sense, because I feel like Goldie Pond would have sold like a lot of money. And the thing is, season 2 could have just like ended before like the big part of Goldie Pond where they go for the final battle. Like they could have ended that and then they put out a movie. And bam, there you go, making more money. But instead, they just rush everything and just say it's whatever. Which makes no sense, because like they could have made so much money, because like I said, they could have really made, because this series would have been eaten, because Goldie Pond really would have put this series on the map, and you would have had everybody and their mama talking about it. Like it would have been like, I'm not gonna say it would have been like up there with JJK and Demon Slayer, but it would have been close to that, because like that's how good Goldie Pond would have been. But yeah, it is interesting to see that we're getting a limited edition season 2 box set thing, whatever, and it's going to be $120, and it's coming out in July. I'm interested to see how many people actually buy that. It's going to be like an exclusive to Right Stuff. I'm curious to see who all is going to buy that, because like I said, I ain't buying it. But yeah, that was just a quick little like overview of like what happened last year. Like I said, I wasn't about to go into super detail because I don't really want to talk about Promised Neverland season 2 that much, because this season never happened. But yeah, like I said, looking back at it a year later, it's still a shit show. It's still as bad as we thought it was. There's no redeeming fact. The only redeeming qualities that it has is that we just get to see the characters. That's it. That's all. And we get to see certain characters animated. That's all I'm going to say. That's all. That's literally the only good things about this. That's it. There's nothing else. It's a waste of time, like what they did. And it sucks, because Goldie Pond really would have been amazing. And like Promised Neverland, like from season 1, that's the one reason I can never recommend Promised Neverland to nobody unless I tell them only watch season 1, because of how bad season 2 is. But yeah, let me know, how do you feel about Promised Neverland season 2 after it being out like a whole year? It's like a whole year later since it aired. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know, do you still hate it? Let me know, did it actually grow on you? You like it now? Let me know if you're actually going to drop that and buy the Blu-ray. Like drop some money and buy that Blu-ray. But yeah, still to this day, I still hate the Promised Neverland season 2. I'm so disappointed. That was the one anime I was looking forward to the most out of any anime that's ever came out. I was looking forward to season 2, and that's why my expectations for stuff now is just like whatever. I was like, I'll watch it and see if it gets good, but it does suck that had to happen to Promised Neverland, because we should have a season 3 being announced, because of like how good season 2 would have ended off on, and like or a movie. But sadly, we're not gonna get nothing, because they just wanted to end the series. But yeah, if you're new, why not subscribe? If you enjoyed the video, why not like? If you think you could dislike, subscribe if you really enjoyed. And yeah, like I said, I still hate Promised Neverland season 2. It makes me hate the series a little bit, just like the anime. Just season 2 I really hate. I just don't think about season 2 at all, because like I said, the manga's still good and I still enjoy season 1, but it sucks that we have an asterisk next to season 2 as what could have been, because we know what it could have been if they actually would have just like took their time and made the series right, instead of just skipping content and cutting it out, and actually just said, even if somebody said cut the content, they should have said fuck that, we want to put the real and make the real story and make it phenomenal. But sadly they didn't. But yeah, I'm done with Promised Neverland. I never want to talk about this again, because season 2 does not exist. Season 2 never happened. I can't wait until we get a real release date of a season 2, because you see all these new anime, they're getting season 2s. I can't wait for Promised Neverland to get season 2. It needs to happen. I'm surprised it has not happened. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'm still sad about the Promised Neverland season 2, even though it never happened though. Bye bye.